sponsored by Flip Narrative. And remember, if you don't love your story, flip it. Yo, for me, when it comes to the clothes, don't get me wrong, I did really good with clothes. Like I loved it at one point because I started just like you, started selling my own stuff, and I'm just like, I could sell this, I could do this. And then once I started getting into the thrifted stuff, then you spend so much time with the measurements and the cleaning and the lint roller and the put a little stitch, fix a little button. After all that work, you start tallying up your time and the profit. You realize you're not even making money after all the work you done put into.
That's very true. People don't think about that process when you're a reseller. You got to everything you do is money. Whether that's you spend all that time cleaning shoes or putting your items in bags and storing them away, working on your inventory, it's all money. Everything you do has a dollar sign on it.
It's like once I started paying closer attention to, just the business of it, because for a lot of people, you might start it off as a side hustle. So you don't necessarily like track your numbers or track your margins that well. You just focused on moving stuff. But once I started really tracking it, I realized like, okay, I can't sell this item anymore because even though it sold for 20, I really only made $2. You know what I mean? So you start really factoring the shipping and paying attention to fees. Like talk about more of the stuff that you sell now, because I think what you sell now is extremely interesting. Some people might learn, some new categories.
Yeah, I sell tons of toys. I just have a nostalgia for toys in general. A lot of vintage toys, and I sell a lot of other stuff just like you. But my main, like, if I go into eBay right now and I look at the percentage of my sales, 70% is going to be toys. There's just a vast amount of toys out there, and people are looking to capture their childhood. And not only that, they're revamping a lot of the millennials now.
Mm-hmm.
Have these new cartoons from the old stock. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Everything a remix.
millennials are just collectors as is. They're born that way. Millennials love to collect stuff. And so anytime they get the opportunity to buy something old, but it's new now, they don't give a darn. They don't give a darn how much they spend on it. They're going to spend a lot of money on it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I didn't even think about it from that perspective, because when I first was getting into shoes, it was like a collecting thing. Like some shoes I didn't even necessarily, it was like more of like a hobby. Some shoes I wouldn't even wear. I just wanted to have it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just need to have these. I'm gonna keep it dead stock. Sometimes you might buy two pairs, one to rock, one to stock.
Yep.
But it was never, I never even thought about it from that perspective. So that's kind of interesting. How's it been selling the toys and the little random stuff here and there, but like how's that been going for you?
It's beautiful. It's I used to be surprised at stuff that sells. I did. I'm sure we've all had those moments where you would sell something like, why the hell somebody buy this? but that surprise goes away. Now you see stuff you're like, I know that'll sell. Like
Right.
a head from an action figure, a hand that's missing from an action figure. You're like, yo, I know that's $32 right there. They'd be like, what? Yeah, for a head? Yeah, just for a head.
'Cause
And
that
my
same
wife,
person.
I'm sure your wife is the same. Your wife is a little bit more engaged with your business than my wife, but I'm sure there's still times where she sees something, you'll sell something, she's like, what?
But
What?
it's to the point now where it's like I'm bringing in stuff so often that like most of the time she don't even see what sells like that, but she's always like, somebody bought that, somebody
Yeah,
wanted this, and it's just like I tell her that yeah, there's a reason I bought it, because I know it's gonna sell. Like
right.
I ain't buying it so it could collect dust. But Derek got a question for you. What's your biggest toy sale ever?
Biggest toy sale ever. It had to be a model kit.
Okay.
Like a model boat. I got a huge, man, I was eating off of that for a long time. But I bought a huge lot of model cars, model boats, model everything. It was all kind of models. And there
So
was a
like the little scale stuff, like the box that you put together,
yeah,
or
the kind of old plastic ones that you put together. The
okay.
ones you'll see in Hobby Lobby now, but they're the old ones. All these people want the old ones because they're made a little different and the
Mhm.
colors may be a little bit harder. The plastic is a little harder than the cheap plastics that they make now. And they're really obviously they're really hard to find that are still sealed, and even if they're not sealed, this particular set, to be exact, this particular set was not a sealed set. It was an
Mm.
open box, but all the pieces were still on the plastic. They come
Oh,
on
okay.
these plastic sheets. They were still on there. It was a boat, and I think it sold for like $1,500. And that was
Wow.
an offer.
Wow.
I
What
took
you
an
was
offer.
asking?
Hmm?
What were you asking?
I was asking, I think 22.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
What?
I was asking 22.
2,200.
Yeah, and it sold for like 15. And people look, people have to get off their high horses. I get it. You want to get the most bang for your buck. You do. I understand that. But if you pay $3 for something and you can sell it for 1,500,
Yeah.
do not.
Don't
Yeah,
block your blessings.
don't block it.
Don't block
Bruh,
your blessings.
don't do it.
The
Do
thing is,
not do it.
as I'm saying that, I gotta like remind myself of that because I'm good for that. Like I tell
Oh, me
people all the
too.
time. Like I bought those Kobe's and it was like I don't remember. It was like maybe 20 pairs of those Kobe's, those samples. I still got a few pairs to this day. That was almost 3 years ago. I still holding on because I'm like, nah, I bought these for 30. I sold some for 400, some for 300, and I get an offer for 2, and I'm like, no, not enough. And I'm like, bro, let it go, let it go.
I can't. I can't. I'm working on myself. I think we're all working working on ourselves. Because as I say that, I sold something today for $700,
Oh,
but
congrats on that. Sheesh.
I had denied the several times. People sent me offers on that, and I declined the offer several times. And someone sent me that offer today, and I have to remind myself of this, which is probably why I'm talking about it now. I was like, "Yo, I sold it for 700. I had 250 into it, $250 into it. I was like, yo, man, just take that. Stop being stupid.
Yeah,
You
that's a
are,
lot
I
of
mean,
money.
that's a lot of money.
And that's some good profit. I know we don't gotta share everything because I know it's certain stuff to use to share it to tank the market. But was it a toy? Was it a car? Like what was that?
Oh no, I posted it on Instagram. It was a sealed box. Matter of fact, let me show it to you. Give me 1 second. What I sold was this right here. This is a 1996 Power IQ fresh sealed box of comic cards,
Wow.
and there are none listed.
So you just came up with the price. The
Yeah, I had nothing to go off of.
right. You are the comp.
Yeah, I am the comp. Yeah, I had nothing to go
Man,
off of. I mean, what the hell am I
700.
going to do with it? Why am I going to hold on to that?
Right.
I think me and Regina was having a conversation earlier.
Shout out Regina, your co-host,
Yes, yes, there she is. She's always supporting.
always showing love. Shout out to her.
Everyone gets so stuck on the growth, the net part of your sale.
Mhm.
Everyone gets stuck on it, which is it's important. That's how much you made off of your initial investment.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to think about the growth, because
Mhm.
you're not only getting your money back that you invested into. It could have been a shitty buy, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
now you're getting your money back. So
Mhm.
although you separate the two, you're actually making what you sold it for gross minus the fees.
Mhm.
Um, we just calculated off of net. I have
Right.
my board here. They have my gross and net sales, and I get so stuck on my net sales sometimes that I basically throwing my blessings out the window.
Mm.
That I got my money back on something that I paid for. I may have made a little bit on something and regretted that buy, but I did get my money back to go buy something better. So don't get all your stuff tied up in a bunch because you're not making as much net. Look at that gross as well. You got your money back. You realize that you're not going to ever buy that again, and then go and buy something else.
That's a fact. Not only that, I was thinking more so of leverage. Like you see
Mm,
all these like YouTubers and all these like fake gurus, like, oh, make $1 million on Amazon, or like they'll say I made 1 million, but like they really made maybe 10,000. They don't
right,
say how much they invested, but
right.
and I instantly thought of leveraging it because you leverage your sales to get loans or to get investors or to just market your business to other people. Like no one
Right.
says, oh yeah, I gross X amount in sales and then I net. No one really asks about the net.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can still show that you're running a successful business off your gross sales because it shows that you're doing business.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, if you're making bad buys, making terrible gross buys, that'll show in itself. You won't be in business too long.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. So if you guys enjoyed that short clip from the podcast, click over here for another short clip. And if you guys want to check out the full podcast, click over here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.